I'm laughing to myself because I've got such a thing for this filter. I'm just like, I absolutely love it. So let me start off by saying, welcome, world. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name's Jeanette Edmead. I am the heart and soul behind High Priestess Gran Canaria. And I hope that you're doing really well this Sunday afternoon. It's quite warm here today in Gran Canaria. So it's definitely t-shirt weather outside, but it's a lot cooler inside. So I hope that you're well and in good spirits. And we have got Chantel Marie joining is our digital marketing specialist. That was quite a tongue twister for me at first, but I'm getting better at pronouncing it and saying it. So, hi there, Chantel.
Hola.
I've got my I just love these I can't remember what you call them. Sometimes my mind goes and I can't remember what you call them. What do you call them? These faces, these
Well, it's not an emoji, is it? It's kind of like one of those. I don't know. It's pretty
I
though.
can't remember. Yeah, I absolutely love it, and
It's like a filter,
probably
right?
many.
It's like a filter, I
That's the
suppose.
word.
Yeah.
That's the word. Thank you very much. So apologies if it's off-putting to you, but I just really, really love it, and I just wanted to put it on.
No, it's fine.
So, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm very well, actually. I've had a nice afternoon so far. I met up with a couple of friends and had some vermouth in town, so I'm good.
So you're feeling very merry.
Fuck off, fuck off.
Really is. Well done. Welcome to those people that have just joined us. Welcome. Thank you. So yeah, the move in Spain is definitely perfect. There's a lot of feedback on your side. I think I'm gonna
I'll
every
just
time
turn
I
up my
speak,
volume slightly.
and then let's say that there's no feedback. No, there is still feedback. Maybe we'll do this in a way that I'll speak very little, and we'll see if you talk. Then hopefully there's no feedback there. Maybe it's just through. It doesn't sound great. So we've got Chantel Marie in the house this afternoon. It sounds absolutely terrible. Chantel, just tell us where you're from, please.
Yeah, so I born and bred in London, raised in London. Have been living in Madrid now for about 18 months. And yeah, I guess most of my life has been spent in London, my education, my higher education, most of my career, really. And I'm now here teaching in Madrid, but prior to now, I spent more than 10 years working in digital in London, and going back before that, I studied journalism with radio broadcasting at university. And if we go back even further, I remember in sixth form I studied, I didn't take A levels, but I took the equivalent of A levels, which is a vocational subject, and that was in media and communication. I was actually reminiscing actually before we came live today, the first time I walked into my media room at sixth form, I was like, I'm taking this subject. Like, I was so in awe of the classroom and all this amazing equipment and all the possibilities and the creativity that could happen in that classroom. I just had a light bulb moment, and I love in life being able to have light bulb moments when you're like, yeah, this is me. This is what I need to do. So yeah.
So you've had a love for journalism for a long time.
Very much so, very much so. And I think even now, I mean, it's funny, when I went out just now with my friend, and she was saying, her partner does architecture, and when they go on holiday, they're always looking at buildings because of that, that I deal with architecture. And I think that, when I'm out and I'm about, I have a thing about people and their stories and, where they're from. So I've always got that kind of journalistic instinct within me, right? That kind of inquisitive nature of just kind of wanting to get to know people and their stories and their ideas and that kind of thing.
Excellent, brilliant. So then, how can you tie that into our retreats at High Priestess Drinking Area? What will you cover, and how will you tie that into our retreat?
Yeah, so I'd say that my past career, my present career really marry themselves well. So as I mentioned, I come from a media and digital background, so I have so much experience in all these different channels regarding media and marketing. And I actually came up with this analogy recently where I feel like marketing is it's like an ocean, right? There's so many different channels, and we can look at these channels almost like currents in the sea. They're all over the place. And really what you're trying to do is get from one end where you are to reach your customer, maybe which is on the other side. And it's like, how are you going to reach your target market? How are you going to reach your consumer or your customer when all you have in front of you is this huge ocean full of currents? And so, for example, you may decide to build a bridge. And this bridge might take you a long time, right? But if you build this bridge and you're able to successfully and sustainably build this bridge, you can reach your customer. And that might be the equivalent of, say, SEO, search engine optimization, which, we can touch on in more detail maybe another time. Or you may decide to fly across. And flying across may be the equivalent to, say, paid marketing. So it takes a lot of investment, but you can directly get to your customer really quickly. Or you may decide to take the scenic route, for example, and go on a cruise, right? And you want to stop up at different islands and you really want that immersive experience, which I kind of equate to social media, because social media you can do a lot with, but you can still reach your audience that way. So that's the first thing. That's the first part of the puzzle. Understanding who you are, understanding who your market is, and how you want to reach them. And that depends on, your service, your product, your budget, your target market, and who you are, and all these different factors, right? And the time of year and the different trends, etc. So there's that. And then I've worked in that, and I've worked with different clients, and I've worked with different companies and services that have different budgets and have different objectives, right, of what they want to do in a certain period of time. And I enjoyed working in that industry. And what do I do now? Now I teach and now I educate. And so what I will be doing on these retreats is actually using my background, using my expertise, using my understanding of media and marketing and how things change so quickly, and the understanding of what we need to know. And also my love and passion for educating and trying to empower people to be able to look within themselves, really. Look within themselves. The knowledge is within you, and being able to apply that confidently to your own service, your own product. So for me, it's not about trying to tell you what to do. It's almost like, here are your options, here are the opportunities. I know there's a plethora of information out there, but let's kind of bring it all together. Let's draw it in to your service, your product. And now with this information, feel confident and feel comfortable, to now be able to apply that to whatever it is that you are either doing now or planning to do, in the future.
So let's just break it down a little bit if we can.
Yeah.
Over a week's retreat, what will we cover over a week's retreat? So Monday, Tuesday, let's say Monday to Friday, what would we cover? What would we learn? And what would we take away? What physical tools would you take away from the retreat?
So on a day-to-day basis, we're going to have different kind of interactive and creative workshops where we will be focusing on different channels. So for example, one day we'll be looking at SEO. We'll be looking at on-site SEO. So it's the stuff that you do on a website. And we'll be looking at off-site SEO, so the stuff that you do outside of the website, right? And then we'll be able to look at that and look at all the different ways we can apply SEO to what we're doing and to understand it and to feel confident. And then another day we'll be looking at, say, social media, another day email marketing, but not looking at these channels in isolation, sorry, but looking at them integrated, right? So how can we bring all this together, bring all this activity together, so that one thing that we do can help us with another activity that we do, and that will help us to reuse information, reuse content, and reuse these resources as well, saving time and saving money, and just bringing it all together to strengthen this type of marketing and media activity. And the idea is really that you can come together and, like I say, learn about best practices, gaining information, knowledge, tools, all this stuff that you will need to apply to whatever it is you're doing. So although it's general, it's also very specific to your needs and your market and your service or product.
Okay, so do you need to have knowledge of this beforehand to attend our retreat?
No, so I plan to facilitate these workshops in a way that I facilitate my classes now, as in it's always a mixed ability, right? Someone may come and may have read books on, I don't know, social media, or been involved in social media for years. Another person might be a novice. It doesn't matter, as long as you're there and you're willing to, engage, and you're willing to absorb the information. It doesn't matter what level you're at, because there's always something to learn. And I think the interesting thing about marketing especially is it always changes. So even if you have so much knowledge now, by the time the retreat's on, things would have changed. It's just the way the industry works. So it's one of those industries that you always have to keep learning and relearning and developing your knowledge and developing your understanding, and not understanding how to apply it and best practices. So absolutely, it does not matter what level you're at, you can still gain from this experience. That's 100%.
Okay, so then thinking about why is this important? Why have we created a space specifically for Black women? Why do you think it's important?
I think, I think it's actually interesting that we're even having this live today on the 7th of March, bearing in mind that tomorrow is International Women's Day. And I think it's about empowerment. I think it's about community. I think it's about coming together and showing that we can create. I think Black women especially, we don't necessarily come from, a background where we've seen others be able to become entrepreneurs and to build and to grow businesses. So a lot of us have this, have this desire, right, and have this aspiration to want to have our own, something that we can grow, something that we can create a legacy out of, and we don't have that support mechanism. So being able to come together and being able to learn from one another, and to learn from, an expert that looks that you can identify with, I think there is real power in that. And I think that will hopefully give that momentum for, you're on the retreat and you're learning, and when you leave that retreat, you have so much to carry with you. And even in your, your down days, because we all have down days, we all can be at home sometimes and we feel unmotivated. Hopefully, just remembering what you got from the retreat and maybe how you felt from that retreat will hopefully empower you to just keep going, even when you face those boundaries, really, which are usually within your own mind. So that's what I hope really for, anyway.
Definitely. And like anything in life, it's a roller coaster, and when people are doing things on their own, it's difficult.
Right. Of course, yeah.
So what does the project High Priestess mean to you? Why did you decide to be part of the project?
Yeah, I remember when you was posting and looking for people, and it just, again, that's another one of those light bulb moments for me, to be honest with you. It's like, I saw the post and I just saw me within the project. I thought, retreats, talking about marketing, delivering workshops, being able to engage and empower and educate. For me, I love learning, and I love, teaching. And I just figured I have that information. I want to give it to people. I want to share it with people. And I want to be able to be a part of this kind of community where, you know, retreats is just one of those experiences I think that as people are so keen to be involved in nowadays. It's not a holiday, it's not a vacation. It's a place where you can really kind of be yourself, grow in yourself, know yourself, and expand yourself. And I think that what, you know, High Priestess is there to do is to reach people who may not necessarily have really engaged in this whole retreat experience before, to now be a part of that and to be a part of this community. And the time is now, really. So I figured I'd love to be a part of this project, and I think it's a great project.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just thinking about the retreat, what do the women need to bring with them? What tools, physical tools, will they need?
The only physical tool they need, the only tangible thing they need to bring is their selves. Like, you don't need to come with paper, you don't need to come with pen, just come with yourself, come with an open mind, and come ready to absorb information and to really be a part of that experience. And, you know, once you're here, you don't know where that experience is going to take you. It's going to be a place where you can feel comfortable to ask questions. You won't feel silly, you won't feel stupid. It doesn't matter what you ask, it doesn't matter what you say. We want it to be a place where you feel empowered to be yourself, to ask what you want, to say what you want. Any, you know, reservations that you've had, and any insecurities that you've had about marketing or digital before, it doesn't matter. Bring them to the table, because you may have had a question, you may have had an insecurity, and perhaps thought you was the only one. And you may find that so many other people had that same insecurity or that same reservation, right? I think within marketing, for example, there's so many buzzwords that go around. For example, SEO. And then you have some people that act like they know what it is, right? And then you may feel like, oh, I should know what it is because everyone's talking about it, and I should know what algorithms are, and I should know what channels and what strategies and what campaigns I should have in my business. It can be so confusing. It can be such a minefield. So just come in with the idea, like, you know, even if I'm here on my own, hopefully this will be an opportunity for me to meet new people, to form relationships, and just to gain information and just to gain knowledge, really, and to leave with more than what you came with, and be able to feel empowered in your own business. So just come with yourself and an open mind, and you'll be absolutely fine.
Okay, excellent. I don't think I've got any more questions because the sound isn't great either. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I'm just really excited about the opportunity to facilitate these workshops, really, and I'm really excited to meet the women that decide to join us and to help them and to grow with them, right? It's not like I'm just there to bark at anyone. I want to share what I know. I want to help women. I want to see women grow in their businesses, and I want us to really just come together and be a part of a community where we can see success and courage and confidence and money within our own community. And that's all we want in the end. You know, we live once. Let's grow, let's develop, and let's form partnerships and build success. And that's what I can really say.
Okay, thank you, Chantel Marie, for your time today and your contributions. Excellent as ever, and we look forward to speaking to you again. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.